Welcome to the Team of One podcast, where we share the story of the solopreneur by exploring different ideas from different voices so you too can find a way to live life on your own terms. My name is Mo Choice, and I hope you enjoy this next episode. Peace. Welcome back to the Team of One podcast. Today I'm joined by Sebastián Uzcategui. Sebastián, who are you?
Right. Well, Mo, thank you so much for having me on. I would say I am a solopreneur, but most importantly, I'm a public speaker. I am someone that really embodies the idea of entrepreneurship to the fullest extent. And to me, what entrepreneurship is, it's leadership. It's authenticity. It has to be. And what we're seeing today and what I'm really fighting against is the new emerging world where everyone can call themselves an entrepreneur, but they're just looking for a quick buck. And those entrepreneurs who are looking to provide rather than take, that's what I'm looking to empower.
Got it. How do you, like, let's say you're talking to grade 5 and they said to you, what does authenticity mean? How would you explain it?
Again, it means you're looking to provide rather than take. It means you're rooted in something that you want to do and change in the world, as opposed to just being driven by money or popularity and things of that matter.
What if I was authentically driven by money?
Well, you can be authentically driven by money, but people can smell when you're just trying to get a deal out of them. I tell people all the time, when you're after something from someone, when you're having a conversation, you're just looking to, I don't know, get a good connection or get into a better circle or get a quick sale out of it. People can smell that, man. But when what backs your words in the same way that what backs a dollar used to be gold and it used to be valuable and now it's not because it's not backed by gold, your voice also needs to be backed by purpose. So when I'm talking to someone, a client who's looking to become a speaker, for example, I'm not even talking about numbers. I'm talking about, what are you looking to put out into the world? How can I improve on your speaking? Things like that. And that drives a high quality business forward every day of the week.
So is the suggestion that if I didn't have that, I can't be successful? Is that the suggestion?
I wouldn't say you can't be successful, but I would say you can't be fulfilled. Very different things.
Very interesting. And that's a super interesting one, because there are a lot of people that are successful in terms of what they've achieved, what they have access to, but they're not happy. That's a common thing. I love that. Really cool. You said you identify as a solopreneur. How would you explain that to grade 5?
That's a really good question. Solopreneur, I would say, is excuse me, you don't mind cursing on your podcast?
No. You go fucking do whatever.
Being a solopreneur means you eat shit every day of the week, but you're doing it for something that you love. That's the best way to put it. Maybe not for a grade 5, but that's I would say it's along the lines. I think the beauty of being a solopreneur, and really what is at the heart of it, is you're shedding a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. But for the first time in your life, you're doing it for yourself and your vision. It's not for a job. It's not for a corporation that keeps all the benefits of your sacrifice. It's for you. So even though you are exposed to, you have to assume your failures, right? Whereas a corporation would take them for you and just give you a little salary. You have to assume your failures, but you're also assuming your successes. It's truly, and for the first time, your life entirely. That's what it means to be a solopreneur.
Very clear. If I said, what's the difference between that and an entrepreneur, then what would you say?
Well, I would say being a solopreneur definitely comes with a lot more sacrifice and puts a bigger emphasis on vision. An entrepreneur is, like, again, it's just that distinction. An entrepreneur can be someone that is just, looking to start up a business real quick, make some money, just focus on numbers, where I think a solopreneur is intrinsically more focused on a vision, a life for themselves. Like you said, success isn't necessarily happiness. I think solopreneurs do chase that, the duality of that, success and fulfillment. For example, I'm not looking to be the richest man on earth. I'm looking to be free. I'm looking to give my family a life that they can live without anxieties of money or having to come back to work. Just give them what they deserve, right? I'm following a vision. That's it.
So, and this is really interesting for me. So an entrepreneur doesn't have a vision. That's what you're saying?
No, I wouldn't say they don't have a vision, but I would definitely say an entrepreneur, it's more of like what's the word? Just trying to replicate businesses that already work. And it's more so, I would say it's maybe more money driven. Again, it's that distinction that you would say. I think a solopreneur is someone that kind of follows a specific niche that's more aligned with their passion. That's what I tend to see among solopreneurs.
Got it. So when you say an entrepreneur is doing something that already exists, what would you call someone that's creating something that hasn't existed?
Well, I would say definitely I think the only word that comes to mind is a visionary, right?
I see.
One of humanity's greatest advantages. I mean, if I were to ask you, what is humanity's greatest advantage over nature? You would say intelligence, maybe, right?
Ideas.
Ideas. That's good. That's taking it one step further. Exactly right. Humanity's greatest advantage is the fact that we're able to create into the world what doesn't exist, something that exists only in our minds. And we do it through hard work and discipline and immense sacrifice for something that's completely irrational. So that's what I would call someone that is trying to create something that doesn't exist yet. So a lot of entrepreneurs, they'll do like franchising, they'll invest some money into this or that, and they'll do things like that, and that's totally fine. But I think it's a much more noble pursuit what solopreneurs do, which is trying to change something in the world.
What is Elon Musk?
Well, I would say he's definitely a good mix of both. I think early in his career, he's definitely more of a solopreneur. When he did like PayPal from his room, you've seen those pictures where he's like already balding at 25, making PayPal. I think that was like his stage of doing that. And even as an entrepreneur, I still think he carries that spirit.
Got it. I like these all, and I love these questions because I'm constantly, words help us understand the world. Yeah. That's why they're super important. That's where you said what differentiates us from animals, let's say.
Yeah.
We have words that can then present ideas that haven't been thought about yet. And I like the idea of visionary. I will say you can be a visionary, but not make money from it.
Yeah, that's true.
You can have visionary ideas for politics, for philosophy.
Yeah.
Right?
If you don't mind, I'm so sorry to interrupt you.
No, please.
That's why it's you can be visionary and not make money from it. But that's why, and we can't negate this important distinction. Solopreneur, that part of the word is still there because it's turning visionary into something that's sustainable, not for the sake of money, but because you understand that in order to further your vision into the world, it has to be sustained, right? Whenever I do look for contracts and for money, it's more so to better position myself to expand my vision out into the world. Not so much for the money's sake of it, but because it's a solopreneur. And you're absolutely right about words as well. I love that you're bringing into that because that's how the world changes. It's words.
Yeah, I agree. So why did you decide solopreneurs for you?
Well, from a very young age, I've always been a really big dreamer, and I've always been in a very I wouldn't say oppressive position, but in a impotent position in my life because I came here as an only child of an immigrant family from where you're at right now, from Colombia and Venezuela. And so, I mean, we're chasing this American dream, and all that we found was like the same poverty from our home country at a different level. Yeah, I mean, like we had a nicer house and everything is safer, but we have less time. Our family's less family. I felt my parents were like completely robbed from me by the system. They would just come home and be too exhausted to be a family. And I just grew up feeling so powerless to do anything about that. And as an only child, I was also very alone for a lot of time. All I could do was dream and dream and dream and dream of what I really wanted. And at a certain point, I got sick. I broke. I didn't want to dream anymore. I wanted to just do something. I was so sick and tired of my today that I knew action had to come with that. So I started my first business as young as 14 at school, selling clothing. And that just kept evolving into more and more.
Very similar to me. I was selling. I used to buy the popular donuts from the tuck shop and then resell them at a small profit.
Yeah.
So I buy them out and then sell them. And then I started selling mixtapes, and then I started selling CDs.
It just keeps evolving.
That's like it's interesting because I'm going to have to think about this, and I'll get back to you on it later because I have some different ideas on solopreneur, entrepreneur, business owner, franchise owner. Like I'd never call a franchise owner an entrepreneur. I never call a business owner an entrepreneur. And what I mean by business owner is if you've opened a business that works, a coffee shop, a laundromat, a car wash, I don't think that's entrepreneurial. I think if you start something that you don't know can make money, like Airbnb, like SpaceX, like Tesla, then you're entrepreneurial because the risk is the enterprise.
Right.
The entre is the enterprise, the preneur is the risk. So the risk is with the enterprise, whereas solo, the risk is with you. It's down to you. The risk is with you. The failure is on you. The success is on you. I think that's the difference. We can call Musk a solopreneur, but Musk was basing his success on PayPal, not him, not his value. You understand what I mean? So there's always an enterprise that you're trying to create. Like he had no idea PayPal was going to be able to challenge the banks when he started it. I mean, he must have had a belief, but we had no idea. Because it had never been done before. And so I think that's where I differ from you on how you look at it. I think if you're a visionary, that can make money in a way that's never been made, that's visionary entrepreneur. Right?
But if you're taking a risk on yourself.
Yeah, because my risk is if I crash, if I get hit by a car tomorrow, I can't deliver. I have to message all my clients and say I have to give you your money back.
Okay.
The risk is on me. Right? If I succeed, I get all the success. If I fail, I get all the failure.
Right.
I even tell people I'm a quintessential solopreneur because I have no dependents. No wife, no children, no mortgage, no bank, no loans, no credit cards, nothing. So literally the entire risk is the wealth and the health and the relationships are me only.
So let me ask you this, because that's very interesting. I did write that down. You messed up telling me that because I'm stealing it. But I would tell you this. Where do you find the distinction between a solopreneur and being just self-employed?
So, well, self-employed for me is a tax title. It's not a role. Like if you say to someone, what's your role? But you can then say self-employed could be solopreneur, freelancer, contractor. Okay, freelancer does time for money. Right. Pay me per hour. Contractor does job for money. Right? I'll finish this project. I'll get this milestone. You pay me. Solopreneur is outcome for reward. It's if we don't create something new, I don't get the reward. There's no timing. There's no project fee. There's no security.
Right.
Right.
Okay. Do you think a solopreneur can also have like a team of employees and just be at the head forefronting everything?
That's a difficult one, and I'll tell you why. Well, because then you have dependents.
Well, because here's the way that I look at it, right? And I'm glad that we're having this conversation. I think it's a great distinction to be made. I think when you're asking me about solopreneur and entrepreneur and whatnot, I'm thinking about spirit, like in the spirit. I'm not thinking so much about like the practical.
Yeah, I like it.
Although I love that you're saying the distinction is solo, you're taking the risk on you. Now, I would say with having employees, because I do have a team of employees that I lead. I would say it puts me, the solopreneur of the carrying the risk, it puts me at a lot more risk because I have mouths to feed, and I need to be out there.
Yes, but you're outsourcing the risk too with employees, because if they don't do something, so that's where I'm not 100% clear. Here's another way of looking at it.
Yeah.
If your employees don't care about your goal, I think you're a solopreneur. This is so interesting because it sounds paradoxical. If your employees are helping you achieve a goal, I don't think you're not solo, because your employees are helping you to create the vision. So you're technically literally not solo. But here's the difference. So I've got a VA. VA is helping me to do tasks, but she's not the make or break of my goal because she's replaceable.
I see. So for you, it falls into what's the make or break?
Yeah, well, because here, Alex Hormozy did a post that went viral where he said, here are the 5 best business decisions I made. And he said, hire a gardener, hire a chef, send my clothes to laundry. And everyone's like, that's the point. It's freeing him up. So my VA is freeing me up. She's not she's not creating my vision. She's freeing. So it's like saying, if you're a solopreneur, can you get a hairdresser?
Yeah, obviously.
You got a hairdresser. You can't be a solopreneur. You got a gardener. You can't be a solo. No, because they're taking tasks off us so we can focus on the career. So I think that's the distinction between a team. If the team's allowing you to create your vision, great. If they're building your vision with you, I don't think you're solo.
So let me ask you this, right? Because I think that is a very good distinction. And as an entrepreneur, even as an entrepreneur, I mean, the end of the day should be freeing your hands up so that you can do your job, but it's have the vision, right? But now, what if you are leading that vision? What if they're not necessarily building your vision for you, but you are at the end of the day the make or break? Because I do think one thing, and I will stand by this very, very firmly. You can be on, and this is good. We talked about this on a pre-call, and I love this. I love that we can have conversations like this. But I do believe very strongly that one man's mark isn't much. There's very little that you can do by yourself, for sure.
I'm fully with you. I'm just going to reframe it. The work that you're doing is solely for you. Whereas an entrepreneur, the work that even if you're freeing them up to focus on the vision is enterprise. It's something they're putting out to the world that's going to help the world. I don't give a fuck about the world. I want to live my best life. Honestly, that's my authenticity, right? Okay. Now there is a paradox to that.
Right.
And you mentioned, that's why I asked you about authenticity at the beginning. Yeah, the paradox is if I can empower others to live their best life, that helps me to live my best life. Because that's where I get my fulfillment. My selfish fulfillment comes from helping others. It's paradoxical. That's where we can't be alone.
There's a paradox there, because I would say, like you said, right? You don't give a fuck about the world. You want to live your best life. But in my case,
I don't have kids. Mostly because I don't have kids, to be honest. I'm sure if I had kids, I'd be thinking about the world in the future. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, maybe you just want them to live their best life as well. I don't think that's necessarily, caring so much about the world. I would tell you this. My fulfillment, for example, I would say in order for me to live my best life, which is at the core of everything, right? I mean, at the end of the day, we can be selfishly selfless.
100%.
100%. So in order to live my best life, I do believe that I would not be happy with myself unless I'm doing something for the world that I can change. And in order to do something on that scale, I need to be a leader of my team, right? I need to be able to, and this is what I tell everyone, man. You need to not be a speaker. You need to stop focusing on being a business owner, on being an author, whatever you are. And you need to be a crusader. You need to have something like a war that you have against whatever it is that you want to change, right? And I would say I still maintain the spirit of solopreneurship even with the team, because whenever I'm working with my team, it's on this crusade that I'm leading. I'm forefronting everything, and I am taking the risk.
I'm with you.
Right.
I'm with you.
Because
and I think that's leadership. I would call that leadership rather than solopreneurship. I think that's the spirit where I would call it spiritually. I would say because what's a leader? A leader is you're creating a path that doesn't exist. And a manager is you're managing a path that's already been created.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Right. So, and you, as a boss, you have to lead and manage. You have to create new pathways. It's yin and yang. You have to go into the unknown as a leader, but you have to manage the known because you know the tax. You know that you have to do your accounts. You know that you have to pay your bills. You know that Mo has to be sent the image for the podcast. You know this. That's management. But leadership is I don't know what the fuck is there. That's dark.
Right.
But I love
the way you put that. You're exactly right.
Yeah, and I think that's the energy I feel from you is the leadership energy, and that you're inspiring others to lead too. I love that. And I think you can be a leader solopreneur. So I try to lead my clients, not my staff. I try to lead them to be better and to manage their lives better and to explore potential, right? So you can be a leader as a parent, you could be a leader as a coach. You can be, so that's the beauty of it. And I think these semantics are important because they help us they help me think about what am I doing? Why am I doing it? And if you have a word or a label, then it helps me navigate that kind of uncertainty, you know?
Well, dude, more important than even that, it helps you orient yourself with where you want to go. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, direction is by far the most important thing for whether it's a or a leader. Because,
what am I aiming at? What am I aiming at is the most important question. Yeah.
Because that's what gives you clarity where there is none. When you look forward whether it's a leader or a solopreneur or an entrepreneur, you are, I mean, imagine saying this to a staff that, hey, I don't know if I'm going to find these clients. I don't know if I'm going to be able to secure this. I don't even know if this idea that I'm launching with you guys, because I fully hired them and launched them from absolute scratch with zero. I was basically our first client paying them. And I had no idea if anything was going to work. No matter what, I knew I had mouths to feed. But when I got out there, all I knew was, here's my vision. Here's what I want to do. Do I know if it works? No clue.
No.
And, doubt comes
in. Leadership. Yeah.
And doubt comes in so much, man. Doubt is always going to be there. But if you outwardly express that doubt and give into it, you are admitting that you're not going to succeed. Whatever you believe.
That's look, I want to just focus. So look, that's the preneur bit for me. It's the risk taking, because it's only a risk if you don't know. If you know, there's no, if you know what's behind the door, there's no risk in opening the door.
Exactly right.
So I love it, because I think you got it right, by the way. And this is what I wanted to think about. This is why I said to you, I need to think about this. I think the energy that you're bringing is different from the role that you're playing. And I'm glad that we came up with that, that we discussed that, because now I'm going to think of the term in two ways. I'm going to think solopreneur as a spirit, and I'm going to think about solopreneur as a role. Same with entrepreneur. Right. So, and I think that's absolutely right. You can be entrepreneurial as an employee.
I would agree. I only hire people that are entrepreneurial in spirit.
Yeah. And that's spirit. That's not role. Yeah. I love it. So it's not easy. to do what we're doing, right?
No.
It's not easy to do things on our own. To create a vision.
The most accurate description is you're just going to eat a lot of shit.
You're going to, yeah, I think so. That's why I asked you about the entrepreneur, because I think entrepreneurs eat a lot of shit, and I think business owners eat a lot of shit. In fact, most people eat a lot of shit.
Like you said, it's the solo part of it. When you're eating shit, it's you, man. You don't got no one else at the table that's got to,
So talk me through the biggest challenges and the biggest lessons up until today, like you sitting here today. You're clearly you speak very well, you're successful, you know what you want, you're going for it, you're happy to be challenged, you're happy to share, you're not afraid to say, I like that and I don't like that, and to change your mind. That's not easy to achieve on your own and in your own way. So tell me about the challenges, the lessons, the failures, the pain, whatever you want, whatever you think is important to share. Tell me about that.
Well, I love that you give me the opportunity to share that, because it does tie in very directly to my story and where I become a public speaker. My first business, or my first real business, was in finance. And I gave everything for this dream that I didn't even think was going to work. It was my own take on something in the financial world that I wanted to change. I told my parents, I was very young, I was 18. I told my parents, I don't want to go to college. I don't want to do any of that. That's not where my path lies. We're already in so much debt. I'm not going to put you guys in more debt for something that is going to be a diploma would have just been a death certificate to our finances. That's it. And my dreams, let alone. And so I started on this path. And just when everything was starting to fall into place and become successful-ish, both my parents lost their jobs at the same time. So I was forced to pick up a job at a hotel, wherever I could find one, and try to help out around the house as much as I could. Months went by, everything was okay, but just okay. And then I realized I was getting comfortable. My dream had shriveled up. It was starting to die. And I did something that was stupid as hell, but my best decision to this day. Without any planning, when I felt that panic of my dream dying, I quit my job and I told my employers to put me up for do not rehire so I could never look back. And I did that so that I would have to make my dream either work or not, but I could not turn back. I burnt the bridge to burn it.
You cut the tie,
yeah. That's it. Because I knew that I was going to look back when things got rough, but I never knew how rough things were going to get, because that's when my biggest failure started. I needed my family to do well, and I only had a fixed amount of money. I took a huge leap of faith. And I fell flat on my face, man. Every single thing I tried to succeed failed. Every single thing. I lost so much money trying to succeed. And this was all doing the traditional entrepreneurial stuff. And that's where our conversation is going to tie in. Ads, email bombs, cold calling, SMMA, all these different things, man. And what I quickly realized was, dude, none of this is working. None of the entrepreneurs that I grew up watching, none of their methods work anymore. And that's when I came face to face with my biggest enemy, and that is the lack of authenticity in the world. Because by accident, by complete accident, I got invited to a stage. At the end of my rope, I had maybe a month left to my name, and we're out of the house. I get invited to a stage, and with all the desperation in my heart, with all the anger and angst and frustration and fear, I spoke my heart, and I spoke my business. I spoke what I wanted to change and what my intention was as a child that's just looking to save their family. And that one event, that one stage changed everything for me. Suddenly, my business blew up. It wasn't even my intention, but it happened because I solved the three biggest problems of today's world: building trust, building connection, and building authority in one go when I spoke. And ever since then, I realized this is beautiful. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life, and this is what I want to help people do.
Amazing.
Those are my obstacles, and that's where I am today.
So that's an amazing story. I've met a lot of people that fell into their passion, that fell into their environment accidentally. It's not an uncommon story, but a lot of them don't do anything with that. That's what I think what makes you different a little bit. And also, I'm now the question becomes, how do we plan for that? Because like you said, it was an accident.
Right.
So how would you, if so, again, a grade fiver says to you, I want to be like you and I want to find my passion. And what would you say to them?
In the pursuit of following a dream that you don't even know what it is, you find yourself in positions that help reveal it to you. I would say, because I had the passion.
Wait. Don't fast talk that. That was really important what you just said.
Right.
Can you say it slower?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would say, thank you.
That was wisdom. Say that again.
in the pursuit of following a dream that you don't even know what it is yet, you will find yourself in positions that help you reveal it to
Hold
yourself.
on. So because of the intentional pursuit,
Yeah.
right? You're asking a question. That's the idea that if you ask the universe a question and listen, the universe will give you. It's that idea.
Exactly right.
So in the pursuit of looking for what you want to do, your passion, your calling, your path, the universe will reveal the answer. That's what you're saying.
I would definitely believe that it ties in. You have to be on the lookout for it to find those answers that the stars give you.
100% agree.
Yeah.
If you're not asking the right question.
Yep.
And that's aim, by the way. If I'm setting my aim as I want to find my calling, what I'm good at.
And people don't understand when you say aim, people think you just have to know exactly where you want to go. No, it's direction. It's direction. Again, if I know that I'm moving forward, I'm going to find things in this general direction that help me pinpoint 100%. Exactly where I want to be.
So the advice would be intentionally seek
exactly
your path,
right.
And you will find
1,000%. I would say where people get caught up and they never find success in their life is because they never start looking. They think that they need to find this perfect, precise direction and aim, and because of that, they never walk because it's too overwhelming for them. Right?
Agreed.
I tell people all the time, just start. And I do an exercise. I've spoken for a lot of schools before with a lot of like people in high school, for example, that are completely aimless, and it breaks my heart. I thought, when I was growing up, I had so much in my heart, and I look around and I realized that that's rare, man. So I see these kids and I want them. I tell them, when I walk off the stage, you're not going to be the same as you were before because it's impossible. I don't want you to be aimless in life. And the easiest question to start finding that what you want to even seek is just visualize. Who's your ideal self and what's your ideal life? Not what they do, just, where are you, man? Are you free? Are you traveling?
So a lot of this is innate though, right? Because I as I grew up, I used to think everyone's like me. Everyone's curious like me. Everyone's going to ask questions like me. And they don't. And it sounds like you had a similar. So a lot of it's innate, right? But it doesn't mean people can't pick up on this and think, let me cultivate these qualities.
Again,
right?
What's humanity's greatest strength, man? It's breaking out of nature.
Sharing idea. Breaking these barriers mentally. It's absolutely right. Okay, so let's say, if I was to summarize, assuming a couple of things, the reason you got to where you are, despite all the struggles, and you didn't have a great start either, and you had to figure out, and you had family dynamics there. Is the main reason you got to where you are because you knew what you were aiming at and you had the direction? Am I getting that right?
I knew that no matter what happened, eventually I would find something that would lead me there because I kept looking. If you're turning every stone, if you're seeing every opportunity, you're going to find it no matter what.
I love that. I'm going to put that quote that you gave me. I'm going to steal, so that's where we're one each now.
We're stealing from each other.
No, because someone asked me I was on a podcast the other day, and they go, "Why do some of your clients make it and some don't?" I go, "Because they don't do the fucking work.
Right?
They don't aim for the goal and do the fucking work. That's the only reason. There's no. You can blame the algorithm and the market and whatever the fuck you want. You're not doing the work,
right?
And you were doing the work. You said, I'm going to find out. This is the beautiful thing. If I don't know what I want, the goal is to figure out what I want.
Yeah. And then you look.
So you're aiming at that.
Right.
I love it. Okay. So you're here. You're obviously doing well and you're doing what you want to do. What's next level for you? Like I want, you can talk vision, but I also want some sort of measurable form of success. Like if this happens in the next 12 months, I'm very happy with that. Have you got an answer for both?
I love that question because it every time I hear that kind of thing of what's next, it puts me back to where I was when I was 18, just dreaming and more and more. And it's the beauty of entrepreneurship and solopreneurship is that you never peak. You're always dreaming of something ahead of you. Mm-hmm. So if you allow me to just be a child once again and just put this little dream out that I have, currently I have my speaking agency, but my real goal beyond that is going to be I want to go out into the world and empower voices. I think some of the greatest stories don't have stages. Some of the greatest voices, they don't have anyone to listen to them because they're either trapped in nations of poverty, trapped in language barriers. I mean, these people have incredible stories every day, but they have no one to listen to them. I want to change that. So my next goal is going to be to start a nonprofit where I head out into the world. I find people, I either teach them English, I help them find their voice, and I get them out on the world stage for them to help spread that story. That's my next vision. And to give you something measurable for success, in the next 12 months, if I'm able to at least find one, because I will be traveling a couple of different countries. If I find at least one person that I can help become a speaker and put them out somewhere, I'm happy.
One person?
At least one. It just takes one voice, man. It's a cascade effect.
I
That's
agree.
it. That's it.
I agree.
One,
I love that.
One powerful, audacious voice with a powerful, audacious story is what it takes to change the world.
I love it. I think that's great. So we started with authenticity. That was the first big word that you brought in, and I asked you about that. And that, I think that was clear that it was based on fulfillment as a form of success rather than just empty or, let's say, money driven or things like that. And then we got into this really interesting debate about solopreneur, entrepreneur, business owner, the energy behind it, the visionary element, the leadership management. I thought that was a really interesting conversation. You talked about how you were a big dreamer from very young, and how you wanted to create a life for yourself, and how you had poverty where you came from, but then you found a poverty, but a different version of it in America. And we talked about, I always say health and wealth are both elements of poverty, and health is to do with time. Do I have the time to spend with my family? Relationships too, right? Health, wealth, relationships. That's the trifecta. I've got family from Iraq, part of my ancestry. And people always said, you feel lucky that you never grew up there and you never got stuck there. And I say, yeah, but my family in Iraq are together. They have community. They eat
they may have health, not wealth, or vice versa, man. But
yeah, they have the relationship. I was in London on my own. No one to talk to. No one knew who I was. I was a dirty foreigner. No one cared about me. You know what I mean? So I love that you brought that up, because that's a super, super important thing to think about. Is success and fulfillment comes from all of those things, not just one of them. And obviously your parents decided to move, so you didn't even have a choice as a young person. It was the same with me. So I love that insight. And then we talked about the spirit versus the role, right? The tangible versus the intangible. And I think that's something I really agree with. And then we talked about you deciding you didn't want college, you didn't want to put strain on your family, and how you wanted to kind of create a life for yourself. And because of circumstances, you had to get a job, but then you realized that you were going to go down the wrong path. So you cut that tie, burnt that bridge, and started to figure out your own way. And the reason you got to where you wanted to get to, even though you called it by chance or luck, is because you were looking for it. That's, I think, where we came to. It's like,
if I could interject for a second.
Yeah.
Luck is something that I love when this comes up in a topic, right? Because just because it's by chance doesn't mean it's just like random luck. Luck is not random. It's preparation meeting opportunity. And 100%. Because I was prepared to meet that opportunity and I didn't let it slip through my fingers, I was able to find that direction, right?
I love that.
So I'll just tell everyone, you have to be prepared.
It's 100% right. It's the intentionality and the going in the right direction and knowing that what you were looking for and being open to finding it. I think these are the most important lessons, I think, for that. And you talked about when you got on stage that you realized that trust, connection, and authority could all be built with that in that one moment with a captive audience. Right. And then you decided that's my calling. I love that. It's an amazing story. And of course, how you now want to empower voices who maybe don't have that empowerment. You talked about language, you talked about opportunity. It could even be mindset. It could be people with the language, with the stories, but don't think their story's good enough, or don't think anyone cares, and how you want to create a nonprofit ultimately and help people empower themselves. And we even talked about the measurable goal of just one person being able to tell their story. I love that. Super, super cool. Anything you want to say to close that off, the conversation? Anything else?
Actually, you touched right through something that's huge. I can't believe I didn't touch up on this. So thank you. You're saying, sometimes it's maybe not even just their story or their voice. It can be the mindset, right? So I would leave your audience today with just one super important thing that will determine whether or not you have what it takes to be that crusader, that purpose-driven solopreneur or not. And in order to do that, you have to some extent be articulate and a speaker, because you have to speak out into the world and declare what it is that you want so that it can come to you. I would tell people, first, you need to believe your message. You have to believe it with all of your heart. It takes 110% confidence in what you're talking about to have the world move around your feet to achieve it. Secondly, I would say you have to believe that the people that you're talking to need to hear that. They have to hear what you're talking about. You have to believe it's that important. And lastly, you have to believe that you're the only one that can share that message. And people may disagree with me on that. They say, no, anyone can talk about this or that. Yeah, sure, but only you're you. Only you're Mo with Mo's dream. Only I'm Sebastian with Sebastian's dream. And that's the kind of mentality that it takes to become a speaker. Only that way can you give your words the respect that they deserve.
I love that. And it's the same as the idea that when you watch a movie, there's only really 7 storylines, but it's the way that storyline's told, the characters, that's what makes you unique. And that's the same with the individual. Like we've all got fingerprints, but we have different fingerprints, so we can share. I love that. And I'm guessing that's who you help. You help people, or that's what you help with, is to get that believe that you have a message that's important, how to then articulate it. Do you want to invite people to connect with you and help them with that? Or is there anything that you want to share with the
Absolutely. I mean, again, because this is a passion project for me, I do put out, whenever I do events like this, something that's typically not put out. It's very valuable. And it is a one-on-one direct masterclass coaching on speaking. And it helps people just have pinned out exactly what they need to do to better articulate themselves, to better speak, which contributes to everything. It contributes to better networking, better opportunities that you find, better stages, better conversion rates. Everything falls into that because we're human beings. We're social creatures, and our entire world is built on words, like we talked about earlier. So my whole calling is not just to improve voices, but also to position them for success by putting them on similar stages to where I've been on, or even other stages based on their niche. But it's not always just voice; it's having a megaphone with you as well. You have to be
right. So it's the whole package. It's not just one thing,
yang, like you said, right? So we got to make sure to work on both, and that's really what I do. Just those 2 things. It's help improve your voice and then put it out there to be heard by the world.
So what do you want people to do? What do you want them to do next?
I need them to schedule a call with me. I need, because it's my business, right? It's my goal, it's my passion. I need
any type of person, it doesn't matter.
No.
Okay,
there's one kind of person I don't work with, and it's the kind of person that shies away from overcoming what they need to overcome, right? I don't care if people are shy, broke, disabled, whatever it can be. I don't care about those things, because if it lies in your heart, and this is, again, the spirit of solopreneurship, the spirit of leadership, if it lies in your heart, your desire so bright that you will overcome those things, like being shy or whatever it is that's in your way, that's all that I care about. But if you don't have that heart to overcome, there's nothing I can do at that point. I'm here to push, not pull.
To be fair, I think the way you've come across today, those people aren't even going to book a call with you anyway, so I don't think you need to worry about that. That's where our brand filters out the wrong people and filters in the right people. That's the beauty of it. Thank you so much. We'll put the link in the session notes. Any social media platform you want people to follow you on? What's your favorite?
Yeah, I would say LinkedIn, Instagram are both good. Facebook is just a little out of my
fine. LinkedIn, Instagram. We'll put all of the links in the session notes. Sebastian, it's been such an entertaining conversation. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Thank you so much for spending the best part of an hour with me.
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity. It's been an honor. Thank you.
All right, peace. The difference between surviving and thriving often comes down to a single shift in perspective. Maybe today's conversation sparked something for you, or maybe it confirmed what you already knew. I'm going to keep exploring what it takes to reach the next level. For more solopreneur stories, hit subscribe. And if you know someone who'd be perfect for the team of one, please introduce us on LinkedIn. See you next time. Peace.